So in October of 2011, you were quoted as saying, quote, real estate is always a good business to invest in because our time horizon is not a year or two, it's 10 to 20 years. Do you still have the same sentiments when it comes to local Manhattan real estate, or do you think we are at a time where the more prudent investors should sit back and see what exactly unfolds in the market?
No, of course. I'm still look. Let's go back to it. The real estate is a long-term business, as I think Rockefeller said once. It's not a liquid business. It's not, or you shouldn't treat it as. It's a generational business. So basically, the longer your timeline is, the more prudent your investment looks. We are long-term players. We don't analyze deals for 3, 4, 5 years. We analyze them for a lot longer than that. The real estate business, besides being a generational business, is also a cyclical business. You know, it's a cyclical business. So you have their cycles, and you have to kind of see when you can get in and out, and it's like jumping into a wave. You know, you have to see. Now, does that mean that you can always time it perfectly, where you get in at the low end and you get out? No, you don't. There's nothing like that. But if you play the game for the long term as a holder, and don't let the cycles really affect your buying and selling. Of course, you know, today maybe the market is a little overdone, but maybe it is. Well, for our money, that's what we're doing. We're, you know, on the sidelines. We think it's a little frothy, and we think land prices are high, and you know, that's just the beginning. You know, construction costs are high as well. So basically, yes, we don't think it's a time you jump in head first. We're on the sidelines, but then again, you know, when we see it right, when we see the risk and reward ratios better again, so we'll get in. Would it be at the bottom of the market? No. I mean, we don't like to time it as a, you know, we buy whatever fits our portfolio or whatever fits our business model. We don't really worry about what other, you know, people think. You know, we just do what, and we play it for the long term. So that's the way I think fundamentally real estate should be played. Now, can it be played different ways? Yes, there are many different ways of skinning a cat or making a dollar, but that's what I think.
So, given that you do like to play more in a long term sense, but at the same time you recognize the certain cycles and want to play within those cycles, is that why, for example, on a 56 Leonard, you saw where the market was going? And, you know, condo development isn't necessarily a long term play because once you sell out, that's it, and you turn it to the next project. Did you see where that cycle was? And now, you know, it seems as though anybody wants to come and build the next condo tower, despite even where land prices are now, but it seems as though you got in at the right time. So did you shift your focus to condos because of where you saw that cycle, or did you see something particularly in that submarket?
We are look, you know, we are versatile. You know, we have done rentals, we have done hotels, we still do hotels, we do condominiums. So it depends on the business model, location, and so on. Now, what we did, look, when we came into the market with 56 Leonard, when, like you said, condo is not a long-term business. Condo, you know, you come into the market for a certain period of time, and you're locked to that period of time, whether it's 1 year or 2 years. That's your sales period, and you better sell it then. Now, basically, we did come into the market in 2013. There was a big pent-up demand from people staying on the sidelines from the recession before that. The supply levels were low, especially downtown. So we hit a good market then, but we could have, and our velocity sales absorption was out of the ballpark, and we sold it out in 10 months. Now, academically, you can analyze that and say, okay, you know what, maybe you sold it too quick and you left some money on the table, and you could have, waited till, sell 4 or 5 a month, and waited till 2015, 16, and the market could go up, and you could. We didn't do that, and that was a good decision. That was a tough decision. But we saw the market was good, and there was momentum, and we took advantage of that, and we did not linger. So like I said, there are different ways of doing it, and you can't time them all that perfectly. But like, if the market from 2013 to now, which it went up, if we had done it perfectly, we would have held back some inventory and sell in 2014 or 15. But now, you looking back, you feel like, okay, that was a good decision, because, okay, maybe I would have made more money, but then if I had any inventory right now, it's more challenging.
Definitely. So, as you mentioned, the large supply of units coming online in Manhattan, and it becomes increasingly difficult to differentiate these units. So, what are you and maybe some other firms that you speak with focusing on to drive returns and prices? Particularly looking at a project like 56 Leonard, where you in the panel you had mentioned you guys had done some cantilevers, and you looked at it and you said, we need to do more. So is there a certain wow factor, such as the exterior facade, or there's certain amenities or unmatched interior finishes that you're trying to offer to these residents?
Look, luckily, I don't have to have that exercise right now, because I don't have a project on we're not doing any condominiums right now. We don't have a land. We think land prices are very high, and the risk and reward ratios are not working for us. But I do see um, I do see everybody serving a certain segment. Everybody is going after that uber super luxury 10 million plus buyer, and everybody is doing their utmost to get that buyer, and that's why you see so much, which is good for the city, because you see a lot of good architecture which we didn't have before. Um, so yeah, it is getting harder to differentiate yourself. But then again, real estate, don't forget about location. Don't as they say, location, location, location. So basically, you can differentiate yourself with location. You can differentiate yourself with sizes and apartment. The mix and what segment you're gonna. Right now, the super luxury segment seems congested, but I think there will be some adjustments, and you will the business. It's a business plan. Whenever you buy, you almost write. When you see a land that you like the location, or you like the feeling, you like the environment, or you like where it is, and it's a business plan and romance, and it's a movie script that you write. Who's going to live there? What are you going to build? And how is it going to look? And and you just think about all that, and so instead of differentiating yourself, you just create a movie where you think people are going to like to see.
So when you refer to this location, it seems as though, for example, on Billionaires Row, there's a lot of these uber luxury plus $10 million units coming online. And in the panel, you had mentioned how you see the real value further downtown, while many foreign investors see it more uptown. So what do you see happening in downtown that you feel gravitated towards in the submarket?
Well, downtown, it's a lot. I mean, the inventory is a lot less right now, and you can't build very big buildings, really. It's mostly low density or height restrictions, and so basically, so there is less inventory, there is less inventory, and I think I can't say that about the 57th Street corridor. I think like again, like I said before, the everybody is going after that segment of the 10 million plus segment, and now that segment brings with itself a lot of foreign and buying and a lot of investors buying. Now that you don't see downtown that much because uh, most downtown buildings are bought or apartments are bought by people who live there, who work there, or who are raising families there. Very few investors get involved downtown. Why would you say? Because it's, I guess Midtown is more. I think the perception of Midtown is more commercial in the sense that, well, you know, people work in Midtown, so people would rent Midtown, or you know, that's more convenient. There's a park, there's this. It's all true, but then again, I think for my money, I mean, I like downtown today in today's economics. Downtown better.
So, uh, how do you feel being a Stern MBA graduate? How do you feel that your education at NYU, particularly due to its New York location, helped shape your perspective on real estate and your career moving forward, despite the fact that right out of school, you didn't jump in right into real estate and you worked as a precious commodities trader?
Look, NYU was great for me. NYU Business School, grad school, Stern was great. I Given the fact that I wasn't a business student, undergraduate, I studied mechanical engineering, so my knowledge about business was very limited. I mean, I didn't know much about the markets. I didn't know how the markets worked, and let alone the global markets. And so basically, I think it was a huge eye opener for me to come to New York and to come to Stern and to take all those classes and to be exposed to the likes of, you know, Carl Icahn and Ivan Boesky and Paul Walker and all those guys either gave classes or they were guests of you know, guests for some of the classes, guest speakers. So basically, that exposure to me, you know, really was very helpful. Uh, I was not meant to be in real estate, but I'm not complaining. I love the markets, and that's why I ended up in trading commodities. I was actually right after that I was gonna trade bonds. That's where, and you know, at one point I had a choice of trading foreign exchange for Citibank. Um, but you know, that's a whole lot bigger story how I ended up in real estate. But you know, that wasn't my first plan A. It's just that it came and I took advantage of it. But I think NYU is a big platform. I mean, the fact that you're in New York and you are even today is an example of that, where you can call up and get some industry people in here, and you can't do that in every city because you know, people are not going to fly 4 hours to give a speech or to be in a panel. But in New York, you have that advantage that everybody's around, and you know, I think that's a great advantage, and you know, NYU is a good place.
Definitely. Well, thank you for taking the time today. It was great having
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Great to have you back.
Thank you very much. It was
Um,
exciting to be back here.